I do believe that we are at our core, we're all basically good. And there are a lot of things that might be getting in the way of that, of expressing that fully in our lives and of knowing that ourselves. So one of the things that's different from a lot of other maybe forms of inquiry is that this is a spiritual inquiry. And we're really, we can touch back into that place where nothing is wrong and where nothing ever changes and where we're not deficient and where we're not traumatized. And just for a minute now, just close your eyes and see if you can touch into that space of awareness where nothing ever changes, where there's never been any harm. And notice your breath and your body, that you are in this space of awareness and you are also observing the space and you're observing what's happening in your system, your particular system. And however we experience that, it's not really a word thing. It's not a conscious mind. I can describe it perfectly. It's not it's not at that level. It's not even at the level of a human being. Although human beings are, it's an interbeing. We're not separate from that in any way. We are that space. We arise out of that space. We move through our life as awareness. And we also very often forget. We get mired down in what's happening in our minds and in our interactions with other people. And it's true that a lot of the source of harm comes from other people. Many people here have had experiences of being harmed somehow in their environment when they were growing up. It could have been other children at school. It could have been all kinds of things. It's not, I don't know that anybody has ever had an experience through their whole life of always feeling loved and accepted and cared for. That's not usually the human experience. And it's very valuable to be able to touch back in to that knowing that our experience isn't everything that there is. And that on some level, there's nothing that needs to be healed and nothing that needs to be changed. And that that's not a bypass out of real life. It's just an acknowledgement that real life happens on all of these levels. When we're dealing with other people, we can get quite self-absorbed and self-involved, and really our perception of our relations with other people can be quite oriented to what's going on with us. And when that's happening, we tend to close down that broader awareness. So if we're under attack, whether it's verbally or it's subtle or it's really overt, but if we feel like we need to defend ourselves from somebody, then we're going to shut down. And we all have these walls that protect us. And then we sometimes have judgments about the walls, like I shouldn't have a wall to protect me. But a lot of that just has to do with our experience during our lifetime has indicated to us that we should be protective. Whatever it is that we're experiencing it as awareness and through awareness, but we often forget or we don't know that that's the case. And so it's easy to make the other person the other and get into these kind of battles within. And I think we do that to ourselves a lot of the time too. We get very hardened and kind of shut down. And it's like, what's the matter with me that I can't be present every moment of every day? Or, if we're putting a spiritual twist on it, or what's the matter with me that I get angry? Or what's the matter with me that I can't always be loving and connected? And so all of these things tend to shut us down and and take us away from that knowing of what it is that's deeper and what it is that's always here as well. The practices that we can do, practices of loving kindness or practices of connection somehow with ourselves and with other people, I think are very helpful because they remind us. And then we can also do inquiry on that too.